Commence primary ignition.
Hey, I'm actor Chris Bartlett from The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're watching Virtual Cantina Network.
Hey,
Welcome.
we're here. It's Wednesday. It's October 2nd, which means it's officially spooky season. Not that I haven't been spooky since, August.
Or you're like forever spooky. Whatever.
Well, theme park spooky starts in August down here because, like, we
That is
can't have any chill and have to have Halloween parties like the first week of August. So I've been spooky for many weeks already.
Yeah, as one should.
It's wild, though. People are already selling Christmas stuff. I'm like, y'all, we have
Ugh.
Halloween first, and then we have Thanksgiving. So, like, just
Yeah. It's
take
like,
a
don't
breather.
rush the seasons, all right? Like, life is crazy hectic enough. Enjoy the time that you have.
I think part of it is we just don't have seasons down here, so everything is fake anyway. So it's like
Mm,
holidays all at once.
yeah, it's
Whatever.
that 45 days of freeze that you get in like end of January, and then like
45 days, like 45 minutes.
touche.
Gotta wear all 60 of my sweatshirts at one time.
Could I be wearing any more clothes?
So yeah, it's Wednesday. It's October 2nd. It's Daughters of the Galaxy night. We're going to talk about
30.
Legos. Yeah,
Lego
we're up to
time.
episode 30, which
Wow.
is weird to me.
Crazy.
We're talking about that right before we went live, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's like we've been doing this for a minute now. Episode 30.
We have.
We're going to talk about Legos, specifically Lego Star Wars, which is like just the best part of the franchise. I'm just going to say it. Lego Star Wars is just the best part of the franchise.
The best way to approach it is as if you're a little kid and you're just making up this whole storyline off the top of your head, and you have endless Lego resources to make this with. What are you going to do? And
Do you remember when the Lego movie came out
uh-huh.
and we were all like, what are they going to make a movie out of, like Legos? And then they hit us with basically the plot that you just described. And I was
Yes.
like,
That's
yeah,
exactly it.
yeah,
That's
I
exactly
want that.
it.
So it's been fun to see like the Lego visual media stuff kind of blow up, which has been neat. But
Yeah.
before we jump in, oh, go ahead.
Instead of like, making it serious and as a heart attack as Star Wars can
Star
get,
Wars.
it's their chance to have fun with it. And Star Wars is good when it's insane and weird and silly. It's like if you think about it, when it started, it was
That's
insane
true.
and weird and silly. They were just X-Wings. So,
Yeah, and like we're jumping into this topic already. We haven't even started like talking about like news and stuff like that. But like,
whatever.
when I saw a meme on Instagram not too long ago that was basically like, remember when Star Wars was like for kids, and now the adults have like claimed it as their own and are all like sanctimonious about it.
That's what happens
So
when you grow up with nostalgia, and nostalgia gives you those rose-colored glasses, and any changes to that, sacred timeline is like completely uncalled for, not welcome, not gonna happen, and you can understand there's
yeah,
other people in this world other than you.
so
So
it's nice to like have the little return back to like fun, kid, animated, like
goofy.
cartoony, silly, goofy stuff. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk a lot about that tonight and the 4-episode miniseries Rebuild the Galaxy, which just debuted on Disney Plus. But before that, we always like to start our show with news because it's been 2 weeks since we've seen y'all, and as always, the Star Wars universe is kind of
That's right. You're busy.
chugging along. Yeah. So, at least on my front, because I can't let a show go by without talking about the High Republic. In the last week, we've gotten the next installment of Phase 3 of the High Republic, Tears of the Nameless, which I finished last night. It took me way longer than usual, but
That's what I read in your
Mhm.
post. So tell us, spoilers optional, what you thought.
No, we're not gonna spoil. We're not gonna spoil
Okay.
it because here's the thing: is like when you've invested yourself in 40 some odd books at this point between like the comics and the young adult books and the whatever,
Right.
it's the book is only a week old, and I know a lot of people
Oh, okay.
really
Yeah, yeah.
really take their time reading, and like I know that I read at an unnatural clip. Like I read really fast, but I know a lot of people like to really spend their time with the book. So I'll never spoil a new book like that
Oh,
because I know some people just need the time to sit with it. But
I appreciate you.
what I I try. What I will say about Tears of the Nameless, it's a George Mann book. George Mann has two books this phase, which is great for him.
Wow.
Is that this is a book that more than any of the others, like tied in so many threads from phase one and phase two especially, and it was
Wow.
shocking to read through some of these chapters, and you're like, oh my god, it's all coming together. And the closer that we march to the end of this run of books, because we're almost there, we're going to start to get more and more answers and more callbacks to phase two and phase one. So it's going to be more important than ever that people are caught up on the comics and caught up on the books to really enjoy
Ah.
it. But it was a phenomenal read with a lot of themes that really transcend to like stuff that I think everybody is kind of going through in a lot of different ways. So it was lovely. It was great. Really, really enjoyed it. Gonna sit with it a couple days before I jump back into my canon read, which will be picking back up with Rise of the Red Blade. So yay.
Ooh, that's a good book.
It's been sitting on my shelf since it came out.
Yeah.
And I had this like idea when I set my Goodreads goal for the year. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna pick the earliest point in canon that I have, like after the High Republic, and I'm just gonna go straight in order. So that's what I'm doing. Finished Dark Disciple, went back to the High Republic, and now the next book in canon would be Rise of the Red Blade. So
Yeah.
here we are.
No, I think you'll like it. I listened to the audiobook and I enjoyed it. So,
Yeah.
um, it was a good time for it to come out, like, just after Rebels and around Obi-Wan and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I like it's Delilah, what's her last name? I can't remember.
Delilah Dawson.
Dawson, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read one of her books and I like her writing style. So I think it's going to be a good read. I'm excited for that. And I know a lot of people really enjoyed it.
Yep.
So I am looking forward to that. And then we'll go from there. But then also in book and comic news, today is New Comic Book Day.
Woo!
Battle of Jakku is the new comic miniseries that
Why
Marvel's
we
putting
always
out.
gotta go back to Jakku?
We're going back to Jakku. So that is a new. I think my comic book store told me I think it's either 4 or 6 issues, so it's like not
Yeah.
a terribly long
Oh, it's just
miniseries.
perfect amount of time to spend on the desert wasteland.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. There's a couple like short miniseries coming out, so I know that's one, and then there's like an Ewok miniseries coming out as well through
yeah.
Marvel. So I'm sub to both. We're gonna get both. We're gonna read both. I know the main run for Star Wars just ended with issue 50, I think, which was it ended last week. So they're like starting to ramp up on other projects, which is a good time to hit your local comic book shop and to sub to
Subscribe.
something new. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So I'm
always
looking
good
forward to
stuff. And
that.
if you're not sure where to start, always check previews.
Yeah.
Previews magazine is like the Bible as far as like finding new content. They have like little preview runs of some first couple pages of books in there. You can get a feel for things that way. You can get your order number to give to your comic shop to know
Mhm.
what you're going to order. So check that out.
Yeah. And Marvel and Star Wars have actually been doing a lot of really nice previews too, like just through their socials, I've
Yeah.
noticed. Where it's like they'll maybe print like a page or two just to sort of get a feel for,
Yeah.
what
Or
characters are being featured or what the story is.
variant art or something like
Variant
that.
art, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been nice to like get something new. I actually avoided the Marvel run of Star Wars, because honestly, by the time like I got reestablished at a new comic book shop, there were already like 35 issues in, and I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
damn.
not
Yeah.
gonna go
Yeah.
back
There's
and
a
try
lot.
to source that many issues. So
And
I'll
it's
wait until
funny
the
because mine ended at probably around issue 25 because that's when I
Yeah.
moved to Ohio and I stopped working at the comic shop. So
Yeah. So we're gonna
we're kind of
wait until like all of the um trades
omnibus.
come out, and
Yeah,
then then I'll hit them all and go from
nice.
there. But you know, new comics, we love to see it. Um
We also,
yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh, sorry. We also have I'm trying to think where it was. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm spacing
You're
out.
good.
New York Comic Con just announced a couple new Star Wars guests. So if you
Oh.
one's kind of it's like half Star Wars, half Lord of the Rings. They announced not only Andy Serkis making his return to New York Comic Con, who played Supreme Leader Snoke um, in The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. Um, they announced John Boyega.
Oh
So
yeah, we talked about this. Yeah.
so Finn himself will be going to New York Comic Con in a couple weeks. So Sunday tickets are sold out. Thursday tickets are still remaining. If you can find someone to smuggle you in on
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday, may the force be with you. I think he'll be there on those days. But yeah, it definitely. I'm really excited to meet him. My friend was cool enough to do his little super fan access thing for me. So I'm like, yeah, thank you.
I just hope people are like aggressively cool to him. Like not in a
Oh
weird
yeah,
way, but like
Mark
poor
can
John
confirm he
Boyega.
is amazing. Mark worked
Good.
with him at Tops, doing like authentics and stuff like that, and signing for the cards and stuff. So he confirmed that he was phenomenal, and I'm so excited. Like
I
he's my
love John
nerd.
Boyega. I
Yeah,
just
yeah. See, look,
yeah, he's the man.
Mark in the chat.
I really love John Boyega. I like that he really like held his ground when,
Yeah.
it became very clear that his role changed.
Not only
Um,
that, like right from the get go, like, oh, it's a black stormtrooper. He was like,
yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
deuces. Like
Yep.
right from the
Yeah.
start. Like I loved
It's
it.
and I find myself increasingly like peripherally proud in like the least weird parasocial way of some of these celebrities for
Yeah.
like really holding on to, you know, who they are and their morals and
Kelly.
their yeah. Well, poor Kelly Marie Tran, I mean, was
Yeah.
chased off the internet by the fanboys, but um but even like
Painful.
hearing, we've talked about it a lot, two episodes now with the Acolyte. It's like seeing the Acolyte cast like really hold their own and say like, no, we're proud of the work that we did and we're happy to be
As they
here. And if
should be. Yeah.
that's on you if you didn't like it. So, people like John Boyega, I love what he stands for. I love the way he presents himself. I love the way he speaks. So I'm
I
glad to
love
hear
the
he's going to
bromance
Comic Con.
between him and Oscar. And
I
Oscar lives in
mean,
New York, so I wonder if the bromance is gonna continue.
yeah, it'll be neat. New York is always a big one, and
One of my favorite.
ICCC is on right now, and I
I
feel like
see
they have a bunch of Star
you.
Wars
Yeah.
guests. They always do.
Make sure if you're
So,
going, you go by the virtual cantina table. Spencer and the crew are down there this weekend. Um, Make sure you go by, say hi, get some swag, check it out, and join
and
us.
LA is also this weekend, and LA always has a bunch of Star Wars celebrities because like they
Oh
all live there.
yeah,
So,
it's
so
in
it's
the backyard. It's totally fine.
always convenient. Yeah, so lots of opportunities to see your Star Wars guests and your Star Wars celebrities. Con season, I feel like is we talk about this every episode, and I just have no concept of time. But like
It's okay.
con season is on the downward sort of
Yeah.
slope now. New York, I think, is the end of it, right? So
Rhode Island is the
Rhode
last.
Island. I say New York every time, and you're always like, no, it's Rhode Island. I'm like, it's Rhode Island.
It's fine. Oh man,
I just-
yeah, Rhode Island is so much fun, and Rhode Island announced Ashley Eckstein, James Arnold Taylor, which I have to meet, Matt Lanter, of course. Sam Witwer is going. Greg Sipes, he's done voice acting and the Clone Wars, also Ninja Turtles. Let's see who else is going. I'm sorry, D. Bradley Baker, of course. Michelle Ang, she'll be there. So it is a big Star Wars voice acting smorgasbord for all of you autograph collectors and animation geeks like me. Yes, the holy trinity of the Clone Wars. So make sure you go
I feel
by and
like
say hi to them.
they must just travel in packs. Like they
Well, they
must
have the
just like
same like agent, really, a
Right.
con agent. So,
You're not going to get one without, I feel like, the other two, which
but
is
they have so
as
much
nature
fun.
intended. Yeah, they do.
And then having Michelle come, this is like aside from Celebration in Anaheim 2022, this is her first US con since then. So it's going to be great to meet her and cry over the end of the Bad
Mhm.
Batch with her. So that's what I'll be doing in November, the first weekend of November.
I think the last big announcement that I can think of, unless, listen, I have the world's worst short-term memory, so like, correct me
That's
if I'm
fine.
wrong, right?
I will.
Was that either yesterday or today, Star Wars Celebration announced some cosplay guidelines for those of you who are attending Celebration in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Um, Guys, I can't stress this enough. Like, when you travel abroad, you honor the customs, right? So if Tokyo is saying, these are our rules and this is how we need to handle cosplay,
Be respectful.
that's what you're gonna do. It's funny because I've seen a lot of discourse on various social media platforms and channels about people being like, "Well, this is dumb," and we shouldn't have to do this, and we shouldn't have to. No, that's what you're gonna do. You're either going to do that or you're not going to go. Like, you have to honor custom whenever you travel abroad, just like you would expect that people are going to honor the customs when you know,
Especially like with a
come to the
country like
United States.
Japan, which is like
Mhm.
steeped in rules and tradition.
For
Yeah,
sure,
definitely.
for sure. So I bring it up because I know, being so close to a lot of the Star Wars Costuming Guild people, like, so much work and effort and time goes into these costumes, and obviously, like, it's super exciting to get to show them off at a venue like Celebration, but just familiarize yourself with those rules. It's been officially published now, so there should be no excuse, like, as you start to get ready for Tokyo, that these rules are in place, and the expectation will be that you are not an exception to the rule and that you will follow the rules. So
Now,
um,
honestly, I'm super excited for the amount of creativity that is going to go into these costumes. I want to see
mhm.
some Visions costumes. Like, I want to see like crazy droid building. Like, I'm holding out hope for some real creativity.
I'm excited for Tokyo. Obviously I'm not going,
Yeah,
but
same.
it's nice to see, like, Japan hasn't had a celebration in, like, forever, I feel like. So
Probably about
it's
20 years. Yeah.
so there you go. So a lot has
Or
happened in
more.
20
Yeah.
years. It's nice that you know, they're getting this big event at this time in the Star Wars sort of timeline where there's so much happening, so much going on, and so much yet to come. So, it's exciting to see, but man, I always worry because, like, I've done so much international travel, and it's you always honor the local custom, and like you said, like, Japan has such a strict sort of social code, and so many customs and traditions and things that are expected of foreign travelers visiting, that a big event like Celebration, just really want people to be respectful.
Exactly. Um,
So,
but
yeah.
it's going to be a good time, and I know it's less than a year away.
Mhm,
So the planning is in full swing. I know the artist alley, the art print um, commissions. Submissions are open right
mhm.
now. I didn't apply this year, but I will next time they make it back to this neck of the woods.
I have to
Yeah,
believe the next one is going to be 2027 will be with us. So,
yeah, that'll be good.
come on,
Um,
Orlando. Come
Star
on,
Wars
Orlando.
Throwback says, "Be right back crying because I can't attend LA Comic Con. I really wanted to go for the cast of Back to the Future."
Oh,
Well, guess what? They're coming to Rhode Island too. So if you can make it this way,
yeah, she's
you'll
on the
be here
West
in
Coast
November.
though. My
Oh,
SoCal
girl,
girl.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Okay, never mind. Ignore everything I just said. It's fine. But oh, sorry.
I didn't even know they were going, but that doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me again for LA. Like, LA, just because their proximity to so many celebrities, like, they really pull out all the stops. So I'm sorry, friend. If it makes you feel any better, I'm in
Oh,
Florida. So, like, I don't get New York and I don't get LA. I don't get anything.
I'll kidnap you. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll make it out there some point.
You will.
Um, yeah, so one of the celebrities that was on the list that we talked about was Sam Witwer, and y'all, Sam Witwer brought us Darth Maul in Rebuild the Galaxy.
But it had to be okay. So we're gonna jump right into our
We
thoughts
have to because we have to because
of Rebuild the Galaxy,
it's
which
so dumb and I love it so much.
so perfectly goofy, and I loved it. Okay, first of all, taking off that robe to being dressed like Lando from Solo, I was deceased. And he's like, "Hey," and
So before
I'm
we,
Maul. It sounds like Paul. Like
there
that's really
are
good.
so many unhinged, stupid moments in this. But for those of you who haven't seen Rebuild the Galaxy, we are gonna talk about it. We're gonna spoil it. You should know that because that's the subject of the show tonight.
It's been out a week.
It's been out a
Fine.
week. It's only 4 episodes. The episodes are only a half hour long. You're looking at less than 2 hours of
Yeah.
content. The premise of Rebuild the Galaxy, before we jump into some of our favorite moments, the dumbest one-liners I've ever heard, is that due to a cornerstone piece of a hidden Jedi temple, the galaxy is thrown into chaos, and two brothers are separated when their galaxy is effectively rebuilt, and everything that we know in the Star Wars saga has basically been turned on its head.
So
Good
it's
guys are bad
opposite
guys, bad
day
guys
in
are good
Star Wars.
guys. It's literally opposite day in Star Wars.
Yes.
And that's the most beautiful thing about it is that's the plot. Like there's
Yes.
no other dips or twists or flips or
And
anything
that's
else.
what's so great about it. It's not only is it a game that kids play when you're kids. Oh, it's opposite day. Yes means no. Get out means stay in. Like things like that. Like stuff you did when you were a
It's
kid. And building.
yeah,
Getting your
and
creativity to go crazy.
the beautiful thing about Star Wars Lego, the Star Wars Lego franchise, is that they know that they have carte blanche to just be totally goofy and they can do whatever they want. And when I was watching this miniseries specifically, because I have seen them all and they all make me laugh, and
I love the
I
Flamemakers.
on the regular quote the holiday special, like it's so stupid. But what is so great about this is that this gave me the vibe of Marvel's What If.
Mhm.
Like the whole like what if saga, like what if Darth Vader was a good guy? Or like what if Palpatine was a Jedi? Like what if, all these things happened, and that's kind of what I want because they have nothing to lose. Like whatever they do in Lego doesn't affect canon in any way
Nope.
possible. Like it's
All for
just
funsies.
all for fun and it's all for the laughs and it's all for just the sort of joy of it, and that's really what I felt watching those 4 episodes. Like it was just joy. The good news about Rebuild the Galaxy is that the very tail end of episode 4 absolutely sets them up to do all sorts of other dumb fun
I
things.
love
The
it.
two new characters that they kind of introduced in this, which are the brothers Sig and Dev.
Dev. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sig is played by Gaten Matarazzo. We know him as from Stranger Things. Um, he's Dustin. Uh, phenomenal job. Big nerd kid.
He's
Looks up
so
to his big brother. So sweet.
listening to him talk about his role, because I watched some of the like the red carpet stuff and some of the like little interviews and the games that he had to promote and everything.
Yeah.
Like he just looked like a kid in a candy shop the whole time. Like just
Totally.
really had such a good, sweet, innocent like vibe to him. And I'm like, you know what? This is the kind of person I want to voice my Lego Star Wars character.
And yeah, I don't think they could have cast anybody more perfect for Sig in this. We also have Tony Rivoli. Sorry, I always mess up on his name. Oh my god, I'm the worst.
That's why I never bother with.
I'm
I'm so
gonna
bad with
bother with
celebrity
it. I'm
names, but you can
sorry.
pull it
It's
up.
gonna be bothered. Let's see. No. Going back. Okay, yeah, Tony Revolori. So we know him from the John Watts Spider-Man movies, the Tom Holland ones. He was Flash in that, Flash Thompson, annoying schmoozy rich guy Flash who makes fun of Peter but says he's best friends with Spider-Man. So he's the voice of Sig, which Dev, which by
Yeah,
the
the brother.
way, I had me just watching the trailers and not really delving too deep into like, okay, this is this character, this is that character. I thought it was Kylo Ren, and I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense now.
Yeah, he definitely has the Kylo Ren hair and like
The
the
extra
face that they
broody
use. Yeah, with the
chisel,
eyes and everything. Yeah.
the
And
cheekbones for days.
he has that, when the galaxy resets, he definitely has the Kylo Ren like vibe. And I think they even kind of like joked about it because he has a line with Rey where he's like, "When I found you, you were nothing." And I was
Yeah,
like,
I
"Oh, all the
know.
Reylos are losing their minds right now."
Right at the Raylos. Like, thank
Yeah,
you.
not for me, but I know The line came out, and I was like, oh, they knew exactly what they were doing there.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but that's the other beautiful thing about the script and about the content for Rebuild the Galaxy is that they are able to sort of play in that sandbox of like just pulling out all of these stupid references and all of these stupid one-liners and know that the Star Wars fans are keen enough to be able to pick up on them.
Not the
One
nerf
of
herder, the nerf handler.
the Nerf handler. Uh, Actually, speaking of the Nerf herders and the Nerf handler, one of my favorite lines was actually towards the end when Sig is like, "It's a noble profession,"
It's
and I
a
was
noble
like,
profession. He was so like
"Yeah, it's so
flustered.
cute." But like, there's
A
so many fun little
stab.
surprises in it, you know, because when the galaxy resets, it's you never really know who's going to be under each helmet. Each
Right.
unveiling, like you find yourself kind of pointing at the screen and being like, "Oh my god, I can't believe!" Like when they took the helmet off the stormtroopers, I was like, "They're all Admiral Akbar."
They're all Mon Calamaris. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a
They
trap.
just screaming, "It's a trap!" as a stormtrooper was the funniest
Oh,
thing.
I'm so
Um, and the twists and turns, like you kind of knew what was going to happen because you could start to kind of predict like who was going to be where, and of course you saw the trailers. So like the biggest moment that we all knew was going to happen were the various dark siders coming down the ramp. So we saw, you know, Darth Jar Jar, we saw Darth Nubs, we saw
yeah.
Darth Kit
Hi, John.
Fisto, we saw Darth Rose, we saw Darth Ray. So you know, we kind of knew that those were coming. But the other moment that just absolutely like slayed me was when Leia, you know, the rebellion's like, we need a fast ship with a talented pilot, and Leia's like, I've got the guy, and of course we all think it's going to be like Han Solo because that's who it would be in the original saga. And
So, oh, go
Slave
ahead.
One slash the Fire Spray lands, and we're like, wait, that's not the Falcon. And the ramp comes down, and you see Han coming down the ramp, and she runs past
And he's
Han,
like,
and
and he
he's
just,
so excited to
oh.
catch her, and she lands in Greedo's arms, and I'm like,
But not only that, he's
somewhere,
wearing Greedo's clothes,
yeah,
and Greedo is wearing Han's clothes, and it's just like, just pop off the head and put it on a new body.
somewhere there is a fanfic writer who is like, I'm writing it. I'm gonna write it. I ship it now.
It's
Greedo
gonna
and Leia.
happen.
I ship it. And I'm like, oh,
So I'm gonna have to like get into this. Like this is the cast and the supporting cast. So you have Gaten Matarazzo as Sid Griebling, Tony Revolori as Dev Griebling, Darth Devastator, Bobby Moynihan.
Bobby Moynihan.
We're gonna go right into Bobby Moynihan for a second. Go ahead.
Bobby Moynihan. So first of all, I'm really picky about watching SNL because honestly, a lot of the SNL stuff has been like a swing and a miss. However, Bobby
Yeah,
Moynihan is
Mark.
always a safe bet. He is always a safe bet because he is funny as hell.
Fuck yeah.
And casting him in a role like Jedi Bob, you're just like, this is going to be funny. Like, it's
No,
going to be funny.
think of all the stuff he has done in the Star Wars SNL landscape. He's done the grown men playing with the toys. That which is one of the funniest. Look that up. Star Wars grown men Star Wars toys SNL. It's funny as hell. He's also done Undercover Boss, Star Killer Base. Like he has
Which is my favorite one.
which is the absolute favorite. Like
That's my favorite
Kylo
one.
Ren's a punk bitch. That iconic line is like amazing. I forget. We had
I think
one
about that
more
sketch all the
too. The one where he's George Lucas.
time.
And it's casting for Star Wars, and he's
Hmm.
George Lucas. So it's just like, okay, sure. But he's a big fan, and he loves it. So the fact that he gets to not only play in the Star Wars sandbox, but he's a little Lego Jedi. Like he gets to have his own minifig, you guys.
Jedi Bob, we talked about this right before the show started because like one of the things I love so much about the Star Wars Lego movies and like even like the Lego movie and you know all the other visual media that they've done is that Lego as a brand is such a recognizable and such a valuable brand that they're very particular about preserving that brand identity. So when you watch something like a Lego Star Wars short or a Lego Star Wars movie or episode or whatever, everything is very intentional. So like we talked right before the show aired about how like whenever there was an explosion in this, you know, it's all like they're all Lego bricks, right? Like it's not just like a cloud of smoke, they're all Lego bricks. My favorite moment in the entirety of Rebuild the Galaxy, there's a moment where Jedi Bob is explaining the power of the cornerstone and how this stone has the ability to reset the galaxy and turn things to whatever. And he's talking about how he knows that because he made the mistake of doing it once already. So he has already reset the galaxy once before Sig hits the scene.
Oh wow.
And what I love is in that flashback moment, they revert back because it happened a long time ago. So they revert back to Jedi Bob's timeline, and they're all like figures and accessories and bricks from like the 1980s to the early 1990s. So that's why
Yeah.
his face looks different. So, like if you look at Jedi Bob's face, like he doesn't have the whites in his eyes because he's an older minifig.
He's just
But
thoughts.
then like yeah, they're just dots. But then like the background of his galaxy where all of the old like trees and the old flowers that you would get from like the old
Like the
sets, not
sticks
the new
with like
ones.
the
Yeah.
rings on top and
Yeah. So it's just the attention to detail was so good. And like
yeah,
if you are a Lego fan and a Star Wars fan, it was like the ultimate chef's kiss. Like those little
magical.
details
Yeah.
were just so fun. And they've done that before in other things, but that was like one of my favorite moments to be like, oh my God, they really did use old figs and old accessories to build
Yeah.
Jedi Bob's first galaxy.
And it's
It's
so
so
cool.
funny.
And he's like dashing and stuff. Like his paint looks good. He's got like a goatee. He's got full head of hair, but it's like the old Lego hair.
Yeah.
So it's like the helmet, like the
Yeah, the
dark.
helmet hair.
It's the literal dark helmet, and he's just rocking it. Um, the thing that I love the most, um, was the unexpected ways that like even things so completely far-fetched and things we're not expecting to see, like we do see, and it's just like, oh, that makes complete sense, that would totally work. Like um turning Tatooine into like a beach resort.
The beach resort.
I was like, what? But not only that, Luke Skywalker
It's like a
is
washed
like,
up surfer.
he's a washed up surfer, and he had like the carving that like
Mhm.
Anakin
The
did
little
for
J4
Padme
snippet.
wearing on his necklace. But he's like a pod racing champion, and he's just so chill, and he's got all this money
Yeah.
from pod racing that he uses to fund the fight
Yes.
against Dev and the dark side. So it was just like
The
so unhinged and crazy, but it worked.
the details. So yes, Anna, the fingerprints and the little. I mean,
Yeah,
man, they really don't miss like those little Star Wars, those little Lego details. Just you can't miss.
beautiful.
Um, the
Luke was like the dude, totally.
um,
That's like your
the
opinion, man. Aw.
other, yeah,
Aw.
forever in my heart.
Nice.
Uh, the other just really fun detail was when they finally like so they have to get the rebellion on board, right, to go fight Darth Dev. I'm so tired.
It's
To
okay.
go fight Darth Dev, which is a lot of D words. And so
Oh,
you see the rebellion, and you start to see all the Jedi that they have to get on board, and you're just like, all right, we know there's going to be like light side Darth Vader, who's like all done up in white. He looks fabulous. Um,
oh.
Anytime the Legos use Palpatine, I'm like on the floor crying with laughter. I
Sassy
don't
Palpatine.
know
But
what it
not only
is.
sassy, stylish Palpatine.
I don't know what it is about the Lego Palpatine voice and the Lego Palpatine lines, but they are so funny. They are so funny. The
Yep.
scene, my favorite scene in any of the Lego Star Wars stuff is in the holiday special when he is on his chair and he's just spinning. And
Whee!
Darth Vader's like, I got you. He's like, I got you a Christmas gift. I searched all the gift shops on that too for this like mug. And Palpatine like throws it down the reactor. It just I love Lego Palpatine. It's the stupidest thing, but
Unhinged.
he's so funny. And we also saw like a Lego Jabba the Hutt or a Jedi Jabba the Hutt,
Jedi
and
Jabba, you
it
guys.
was just no
Wow.
holds barred. They said we have all these characters, like let's do something stupid with them, and they really delivered on the stupid. I love it.
So we have, as I said, we'll go back to the voice actress. We have Bobby Moynihan as Barbarian Jedi Baba Fole, Marci Martin as Yessie Scala, which is the love interest, friend, girlfriend, what have you. Michael Cusack from YOLO Crystal Fantasy from Adult Swim. He's an Australian actor, animator, comedian. He's Servo, the gonk droid. So we have our first talking gonk droid, you guys. Jamie Sweatshirt, as you can see
So,
right there.
for those of you who don't know, my 3-year-old daughter is completely obsessed with gonk droids.
Gonk.
And has been for like her entire life. When we moved, she would like find the big boxes and she would put them over her head and just waddle and say gonk, gonk, gonk.
Aw,
Um, we all the gonk droids at Galaxy's Edge, she like says goodbye to them whenever we leave. She's like, bye guys, see you later. Literally, she says, bye guys, see you later.
I love
She is
her.
obsessed with gonk droids. Like they are her all-time favorite thing. So when we were watching, she and I watched it together. She's also very invested in the Lego Star Wars stuff.
Yay.
We were watching it together, and before each episode, when they do the Lucasfilm, you know, not what's the word I want, the intro, the Lucasfilm intro, and they show all the characters, they get to Servo, the Gonk droid, and she like points to the screen and she goes, Gonk! So now
Love it.
we watched all 4 episodes, and Servo has an accident. He is rebuilt. It's okay. But she was devastated. She honestly thought that like Servo
Aw.
was like gonna bite it, and she was so excited when Servo didn't bite it.
And he came back and he's unhinged and he's
And he
chatty and I
talks.
love it.
So
We have
good.
gonk droids, you just say gonk and they just go bomp, 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 and no particular speech pattern, anything. And then we have Servo, and it's a delightful change of pace because it's the opposite of everything we've already seen.
Yeah.
Um, we have Mark Hamill, which was a really
Just
awesome
a guy.
surprise.
Yeah, it's just a
So
guy.
he's not only a consulting producer on the show, but obviously voice actor of Dude Bro Luke Skywalker. This was something that kind of threw me off now. When we watched The Rise of Skywalker, I know I'm going there. Naomi Ackie played Janna. I don't think Janna had a British accent. I know
Um,
Naomi Ackie is British. That I do know, but
I will tell you, all 3 of those movies are a fever dream to me.
okay.
So I'm the worst person to ask that
So
question, actually.
I knew it was Naomi, and I was really excited she came back to play Janna, and that Janna was a Jedi.
Hmm.
For those who don't remember, I'll refresh your memory. She was the girl that they found on uh, Endor, for all intents and purposes, the moon of Endor, when they found the crash destroyed Death Star, and it was her and her planes people. She had like the goggles on her head, and they found out that she was taken from her family when she was a young age and enrolled into the Stormtrooper program, and she escaped, and she is Lando's daughter. So that's who Janna is. So it was nice to have her back.
It
Although,
was, yeah, like I recognized who she was. I was just, I don't
right.
remember anything about like those movies. I'm just like, yeah, they happened.
And we
They sure
have
did.
our returning favorite, D. Bradley Baker, as Wicket. The
Always.
Ewok, always those crazy ass
Oh my God,
Ewoks.
the Ewoks is the bounty hunters.
Like,
Where's
why hasn't this
Anna?
been
Did
thought
she
of
like lose her
before?
mind? Like the Ewoks is the bounty hunters. First of all, that's terrifying on so many
Anna, are
levels.
you okay? We have to find out. Yes,
Yes, she's the
she's
one
the
that
one.
saves with Finn. That
Yep.
much I remember. Uh, the 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 bounty hunting Ewoks was um
Just
a
that
lot.
screaming before they
Yes.
exploded was just like, oh my god.
Like everything happened so fast that I was like, they're bounty. Oh my God, they're bounty hunters. Yeah, it was really funny.
Unusually high body count. Just saying.
Yes.
The return of Ahmed Best as Darth Jar Jar.
So
That
proud of him.
that opening quote where he walks down the plank of the ship and he just looks at them and goes, "These are gonna hurt you, son." It's
Well, and then the line about being the Phantom Menace, how he was always the Phantom Menace, and I was like, mhm, mhm,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
mhm. Bounty Hunter 3PO actually was giving me, again, longtime viewers of this show will know how I feel about Trip, was giving me Trip vibes. I did not like the red eyes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again,
Didn't
if
like
you
that.
saw Rise of Skywalker,
Yeah.
it happens for a little bit. He gets uh wiped by Enzelian droidsmiths so he can read the Sith dagger thing, and it's against his protocols, and that's a whole other show.
Do you ever think to yourself as you're explaining parts of the sequel trilogy that you're like, that
That
was a
sounds
movie?
dumb.
Sure was a
Just
movie.
that movie. I'm sitting here wearing a
I
Last
know.
Jedi shirt. I love Last Jedi. I love The Force Awakens.
I know. And listen,
Rise of
I get it.
Skywalker.
But there's a lot of things in those movies that I'm just like,
Yeah, red eyes were nightmare fuel, like no lie.
yeah.
But the fact he has a gold ship and he's just straight up trip is just like
Yeah, there's a
insane to
lot.
me. So they had Anthony Daniels, of course, playing C-3PO. T.C. Carson returned to play Mace Windu. So that was
Yes.
really cool. He played him on Clone Wars. Trevor Duvall as Master Sheev, also known as Palpy. Fabulous Palpy. And the Akbar Troopers. Jake
Oh, good
Green
for
as
him.
Greedo. Jennifer Hale, the legendary Jennifer Hale as Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma's back.
I'm almost
uh,
I just need to go under this table for a second.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm
I
sorry.
love Mike
I will say,
Pizzazza.
if you go back
My mom was back.
and watch all of our Mon Mothma content, I have to throw it in at least once every episode, and that's where it's from. So, Red Letter Media, we love you. Just saying. Um, Phil Lamar.
ATSTs! I'm sorry, I'm thinking about it now.
ATSTs. Do yourselves a favor and go on YouTube and look up Red Letter Media Rogue One, and it's like Red Letter Media talks about Rogue One. So it's a 3-minute clip, but it's
That's a good
hilarious.
one.
We have Phil Lamar, the legendary Phil Lamar, as Darth Kit Fisto. Like, who saw that coming?
Kit Fisto, hot fish man. Listen, I'll die on that hill.
Russ Marquand, fantastic voice mimic, if not a great actor. We know him from The Walking Dead. We know him as the later Red Skull in Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. He's Han Solo. So he takes over from AJ Locasio, who must have been busy with X-Men 97 at this time. He played Gambit on that show. He took over for that for Han Solo. Piotr Michael as Yoda. Obviously, we can't have Tom Kane doing it, so that was kind of sad. But the great Kevin Michael Richardson as Farmer Scala, Jedi Jabba the Hutt.
Oh,
Words I
listen.
never thought I would say in my entire life.
The moment when the ship lurches and he just crushes Luke, I was like,
oh my god, the things you didn't know you needed, but there it is. Helen Sadler as Darth Ray, she's his apprentice, like she's a Sith apprentice, and she's full on queen nasty. It's so crazy.
I low key loved the sisterhood between her and Darth Rose. I was like,
Tico, it was so great.
They were like fighting each other and like banding together and stuff. I was like, yeah, listen, I kind of love that. They can be baddies and still be friends.
Like, I need more of that. They were fun. So obviously we have Kelly Marie Tran returning as Darth Rose, and she was great. She has her full, like, both of their necklaces between hers and Paige's necklace, her sister.
Like Ahmed Best, I was really glad to see Kelly Marie Tran come back and voice Rose again, because she did it for the holiday special as well. Yeah. So like the precedent is sort of set that she'll do it. But it's just nice because I think across the board, most people really do enjoy the Lego shorts and the Lego, episode things. So it's nice for them, like Ahmed Best, and it's nice for Kelly Marie Tran to like
love her,
have that reception and like have that positivity, especially because both of them were so ruthlessly tormented during their
I honestly think
when their films came out.
Her agreeing to come to Celebration Anaheim in 2022 and getting to meet the fans and getting to meet so many of us, male, female, American, Asian fans alike, really talk to her about how much they love Rose and how, they loved her work. I think that kind of allowed her to like, okay, my work is really being appreciated, and it's just haters in a closet somewhere that don't make up all this beautiful fandom. So that's my thoughts on why she came back. So that's really cool if it's true.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was definitely nice to hear her voice again. I like Rose Tico, so like I'm not mad about that.
Love her.
The whole show was dumb and stupid, and they left themselves up for more to come, which I firmly believe will come, because they left on a note where, um, Sig shows these force sensitivity. So, did you also get like Sig Ezra vibes? Because like, man, the whole time he was talking, I'm
Totally.
like, this is Ezra
Right,
Bridger in
right
Lego
down to
form.
his hair. And when I
Yeah,
saw the trailer, I thought it was Taylor Gray voicing him.
it literally was giving Ezra Bridger the entire. It was very distracting, actually, how much of like Ezra he was. But the so he's left on this note of being able to kind of hone these force powers, because when I say there really isn't much of a plot, like this is the plot, like we've kind of described it, right? So they're
Thought of it
fighting
when
over
you
this
were 8.
cornerstone.
It's happening.
Yeah, they're fighting over this cornerstone. It eventually gets back to the rebels. They can't reset the galaxy. The galaxy is what it is at this point. There is no going back. They can only rebuild what they have and move forward from there. But Sig ends up buddying up with Jedi Bob, and Jedi Bob's like, "Hey, I'm going to teach you how to use the Force, kid." And so we have this generation where
And they're gonna
now
go look for force builders.
they're going to go look for Force builders, but they've set the precedent to now do other things with these characters, and they've set the stage to now like expand this universe with these characters. And Darth Dev is still the bad guy, and Sig is now Jedi, force sensitive. But they also left on such a great reveal. Like the 4 episodes end with such a great reveal, where Darth Dev is like, I'm going to approach somebody. I'm going to find somebody to hold that thought, to help me get back what I need. And there's this big reveal where you hear those spurs, and the Mandalorian theme starts to play. And out of the shadows
I lost it.
walks the Landolorian, Lando Calrissian,
Billy D. Williams returns.
Billy D. Williams, because of course he's going to return to be
Of
Lando.
course.
Returns wearing his Din Djarin's Mandalorian
But
armor.
that helmet came off and his hair was perfect. He's like, "It's me, the Landalorian."
It
Like, this
was
was so
peak Lando, and then the baby. That's all they called
the scariest Grogu
the scariest
ever.
Grogu. But like their role reversal was really funny with that, because Lando comes back as the Mandalorian, and as we sort of opened the conversation with, Darth Maul has sort of taken on this persona of Lando Calrissian. So Darth Maul
Right
with
down the
his
scarves, kids. Right down the
he's
scarves.
just this like
Maul rhymes with Paul.
flirtatious, like handing out flowers to women, smooth talking like Darth Maul, which is funny because like if you know the Darth Maul fans, they're already thirsty for him. So like now, old
Awesome.
Spider Legs is like literally just this
Awesome.
flirtatious, womanizing Lego minifig.
Zabrak.
Yeah, he's something. And Sam Witwer like knows exactly what he's doing when he uses that voice. So like it works. But you're also like, this is Lego. This is weird.
And the fact that he knows how serious Maul is. Like, Maul is a very serious character. And he just
Yeah.
completely play it for funsies, as unhinged as possible.
Again, like just have fun with it. Like that's what it's supposed to be. Listen, Darth Nubs goes against everything that I love about Nubs. So it was a little bit jarring. It was a little jarring to see him come down. I'm like, oh, his eyes.
Those red eyes. Oh my god.
My boy, my sweet guy, my little boy.
My sweet baby.
However, having said that, we were also talking about like Legos and merchandising and the different sets and kits and everything that'll be available. And I also would like a Darth Nubs minifig. I want just a regular Nubs minifig, but I have not, probably will not buy the Young Jedi Adventure
I
set.
think that's probably one of the
I'm
most
probably gonna buy it.
Yeah, you are. It's probably the most unhinged version of a character. Like, obviously Darth Jar Jar has been thrown around for a millennia. So that it was really cool to see it, and really awesome that Ahmet came back and embraced it. But Darth Nubs was just like out of nowhere, and I'm like, are you serious?
He's just a little guy.
He's only a baby bear.
He's just a little guy, and he's a literal child.
So we had D. Bradley Baker come back and voice him as he does on Young Jedi Adventures, and that was really cool.
It was nice to like see Nubs, right? Because Nubs is still a newer character, and what all the other characters that they were really throwing out there were older, established, characters that have been around for a while. So Nubs was a little bit of a surprise. We saw him in the trailer, so like we knew he was coming, but I was kind of surprised that they used him. Especially because they didn't. Could you have imagined though, like if you think about other characters they could have used, like they could have made like Chopper like a good droid. He could have just been like a serving droid at the club where he's like, "Here, have a drink, hydrate." Like,
I'm just saying they've within the last year they released a new Ghost set for Ahsoka,
right,
which comes with Chopper.
right,
So it's
right.
entirely possible we'll see it in episodes to come of Rebuild the Galaxy.
I, uh, I'm just saying, like,
Fingers crossed.
but then that also opens the dangerous door to be like, oh, and like, here's Darth Sabine Wren, or like,
Oh.
here's Inquisitor Ezra, or I don't know. It opens the door to seeing like some of my other favorites, like, seeing like a calm Chopper and like a docile and like a helpful and a kind-hearted Chopper is funny because we know that Chopper is not those things. But like,
Chopper fights a bitch, okay?
I'm not prepared to see like, I don't know, Hera piloting for the Empire. Like, I don't think
Or
I like
you see
that.
like Hera on like Coruscant driving a bus.
Yeah.
Like that's unhinged. That is not
I,
possible.
so it opens the door for like some of
But
those
see,
things that I'm not
we're
sure I'm on
writing
board
the
with.
episodes being
Yeah.
absolutely like crazy, but you
Well,
never know. It could go any
yeah,
way.
right. You never know. It just, unfortunately, and when I say unfortunately, I mean fortunately, but like the Lego stuff is just like, yeah, we're gonna do whatever the hell we want, and
Yeah.
we're not gonna like worry about it, which
I feel like
honestly is
if
the
they go to
best.
like a bunch of little kids who are well versed in Star Wars and be like, "What do
But
you want to see?" and just hand them paper and be like, "Write down your ideas. What would you build? What would you have these characters do?" And
Rebuild the
they
Galaxy was actually written by 5-year-olds.
yes, could you, that's the focus group, all right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we're sitting here eating it up like we are the 5-year-old
Somewhere at like the Lego headquarters in what, Denmark, they're like,
Denmark. Yeah.
here's a bunch of Star Wars Legos. Now just play and do
That
something
just builds
dumb,
stuff.
and we're gonna make
I
a TV
loved
show.
like the on the fly rebuilding. Like it was
Yes,
so
yeah,
delightfully
the
cool because it's like,
ships. Hmm.
okay, this doesn't work for me. Let's like quick rebuild this because I want it to look like this when I fight your ship. And it's just
Yeah,
the what did Alan call them? Alan called them the tie wings or the X fighters or something like that. And it was just so
well, and
cool.
that,
Giant tie
listen,
fighter wings on the X wings.
they've done. I I could be wrong, and I'm sure somebody in the chat's gonna like, or we're gonna get some weird hateful YouTube comment about it. But like, I'm pretty sure those are from Legends. The X-wing Tie Fighter hybrid. I think those came from. No, it wasn't an X-wing. I actually think it was a Y-wing with like the tie ball and then like the Y-wing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. What book did that come from? I feel like it came from a Legends book. I think it came
You can
from.
Google
Hang on.
it.
You gotta like look at some titles here for a second.
I
I
just
want to say
did
it
a
maybe came
Zoolander
from
reference
Rogue
over here.
Squadron. Don't mind the. God, I need to decorate this office. I think it came from maybe like Rogue Squadron or like the Corran Horn books. Like I feel like that was a thing that came, and then Lego was like, we're gonna throw this in for the nerds.
Why not? And
And
it's
by nerd, I mean
things
me.
yeah. But I feel like you would do that as a little kid, just be like, "Oh, I built my X-wing, but I don't like how this
But
looks.
that's the
Just
beauty
rip
of
the
Lego,
wings off
right?
the TIE
Like that's the
fighters
whole
and stick it
point
on."
of Lego is that it's whatever you want it to be. Like my kid has a whole bunch of Duplos upstairs from like sets that absolutely came with directions, but like is she using any of those Duplos to like
Those
make
are
directions?
suggestions,
No.
not
Yeah, those are
directions.
suggestions,
Those are
exactly.
suggestions.
So, and like I'm not going to stop her because the whole point of Lego is that it's supposed to be whatever you want it to be. So if you want your
Yeah.
ship to look like that, then gosh darn it, it's going to look like
Oh, I would have
that.
loved to see the Dark Falcon, like having
Yeah, I think that's their big flagship set that they're trying to sell for this one is the
yeah,
Dark Falcon.
that Yessie made like took over with Greedo.
Yeah.
Greedo is the co-pilot on the Dark Falcon. Like, what universe is this? But Greedo shot first and ended up with Leia, voiced by Shelby Young, one of the ladies of Leia. So that was really cool.
I hesitate to look at AO3 right now because somebody is writing that fanfic, and I'm like, mm-mm. I've seen some things that I cannot get behind in the fan art and fan fiction community, and that's going to
Oh,
be
I
one
don't.
of them.
I'm like
Mm-mm,
Neo. I don't take the red pill
mm-mm,
and go
mm-mm,
down that rabbit hole. So
mm-mm. Somebody is watching this show right now that knows exactly what I'm talking about.
most likely.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
We have
mm-mm.
a pretty solid fan base in that regard, so I would say so. Um,
Anyway, before that goes down a weird path.
mm, mhm.
uh,
But
yeah, so go ahead.
oh, so when first of all, what are some things you kind of want to see going forward? Like if they were to continue with this, where do you think it should go?
Um, I see, I knew I wasn't crazy. Somebody just texted me. The ships were called Uglies. I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew that
Wow.
it was the tie and the Y. Yes. Okay. See, I'm totally right about these ships. I know I'm not crazy. Somebody
It's like a
literally just texted me and
bomb
said you
with
were right.
Y-wing.
See, I don't know how to do
Wings.
taxes and I barely can count to 10, but I know my stupid Star Wars trivia. What do I want to see? So I want to see them continue to flesh this out. I want to see more characters get folded in dumb and stupid and unhinged ways that are going to make me laugh. I want absolutely more content between Palpatine and Good Vader because
They're so silly.
I love it. I want there to be like some dumb lightsaber battle that they have that I don't even know how it goes. Oh my god, wait a minute. The other one that I thought was going to show up that I was like waiting for like a dumb one-liner is like, where's General Grievous? Could you imagine like Grievous in this?
And he does show up.
Did he? And I missed it? Hang on, where
Yeah.
does he show up?
So
Oh, no, I do remember. He's in the end. He's in the prison.
Yes.
Yeah, he totally is. Just
He's
kidding. But like
totally
more with that.
tearing Sig a new one for like getting
Yeah, I
him
forgot
stuck in
about it.
prison. And it's Matthew Wood, obviously, in all his glory in the prison. The Narkina 5 outfit.
The Narkina
absolutely
5 uniforms.
slayed me.
Yep. But there's so much that they
from
haven't
Andor.
touched on. Like, so Andor, they haven't really used a ton of the
Rogue One.
characters from like Andor, from Rogue. They're all dead. That's why they can't use them. They're all like canonically dead.
Touche. We'll just shut up about that part.
The words left my mouth, and I was like, oh
Well,
yeah, that's why they
technically
can't
Greedo's
use
dead,
Jin.
and it's opposite day. So what if they
So maybe
live?
they're alive.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, all right.
Never mind. Let us talk.
All right.
Don't
Yeah,
ignore
just get it
us.
all out there. And honestly, nothing means anything at this point because like Nubs would be like long gone by the time any of this was happening. I mean, unless he
Right.
lived forever, but he was like a little guy. So I don't know,
He
maybe
dead
fold
now.
in some more like forever lasting High Republic characters. Maybe Yaddle's a baddie. I don't know.
Yeah, and remember, Admiral Akbar dies in The Rise of Skywalker. Oh no, The Force Awakens. So, no, oh my God, what am I blinking on? The Last Jedi. He gets sucked out the window with Leia. But yeah, so all the Akbar, it's a trap.
I'm sorry.
I know,
I
it's
know.
insane, but that's what happened.
So dumb.
But it's just as bad as if it was written in Legos. But I dig that movie. I really do. That's why I'm wearing the T-shirt. It's fun.
I want more droid shenanigans because my very
Yeah.
first taste of the Lego Star Wars universe was a clip that somebody sent me that made me laugh so hard. That's when I literally sat down and watched all of them. And the clip was, I think it was from like the Freemaker saga.
Yeah.
And I talk about it all the time. If you've watched the show before, I've probably
I
referenced it a dozen times
love
on
the
this show.
Freemakers.
It's the scene where Chopper and R2 are literally just bum fighting and they're just hitting each other. They're like not even like, they're just hitting each other over and over and over again.
Literally a cat and a dog fighting.
When I dissociate, that's what's going on in my head. It's just the two droids bum fighting, probably to like some circus music or something. Like that's what's going on in my head when I dissociate. So like I would love to see more stupid droid content in this because I think that droids are great and also funny. So why not? We have a talking gong droid. There was an IG droid in there.
Yeah.
We didn't have. Did we have R2? I didn't see R2. Did we? We didn't have Chopper.
R2.
We had 3PO. But like they could do like B2 emo.
3PO.
They could do like
B2, so
there's so many droids that they could do.
A polite K2SO.
No. Not even I'm ready for that. He's just like taking care of kids, giving him candy, patting them on the head.
How are you today, Jyn Erso? Oh, you have a blaster. It's fine. You won't use it.
We didn't see like any creatures, so like they could do something with like the loth cats and a Purgle
like
or
loth cats are like those weird crazy cats that are in the beginning of the Tales of the Jedi with Ahsoka, like those weird scary cats.
I literally can't believe that we didn't even say Ahsoka until this very moment. There was no Ahsoka content.
Which is fine.
We have no Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
We're just excited to have the silly. It's great.
Yeah, and I think right now this is what the fandom needs because I haven't really looked at reviews. I haven't really looked at comments because frankly, I don't care. But like by and large, I think we can all kind of agree that Lego Star Wars is just fun and it's good stuff. And after all of the hostility and the animosity and the
It's a palate
negativity,
cleanser.
yeah, exactly. I just think it's kind of a nice reset, pun intended. Oh my god, a cuddly
Oh,
Nexu. Oh my god,
yeah.
listen, I
Sign
would.
me up,
I
girl.
mean, even not being cuddly, I'd be like, I just want to hug it. I
I
just want to hug it.
yeah, like all those teeth. If it didn't have a or like a Nexu. Hold on, it's like a Nexu with the Bumble. Like after like Cornelius, you got Cornelius takes out all his teeth, and it's just like a big mouthy kitty with gums.
Oh my god, it's like
I like it to be so funny.
gumming its way
Lego,
through things.
make it happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That's where my brain goes, you guys. This
Oh,
is
my brain just had a
shit
really
I
sad,
think.
horrible thought. It's like maybe they could just rebuild Starlight Beacon.
Uh, oh, and all
Now
the
I'm sad.
minifigs.
Now
Oh,
I'm sad. Just
wow.
imagining it just coming back to life. It's fine.
Oh no.
She's deep in her High Republic bullshit. It's fine. Yeah. So
Ti-
the possibilities are like so endless with this. Like
And
they.
that's Lego's models motto. The possibilities are endless.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're endless. So, and they're not going to miss an opportunity to make money on this. So, I mean, I haven't been to my Lego store recently, but I'm sure that the Dark Falcon is not going to be the only set that they release from this.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, they'll probably do some mix-up ships.
They could do like
Yep.
Slave One or the Fire Spray, whatever we're calling it these days, with
Yeah,
like all the
blue.
just like seated in it. That was kind
Yeah,
of
and
fun.
those weird quad jumpers, like
Yeah.
really cool.
um, the
The
AT-AT
really
that they're
nice.
trying to launch and they couldn't launch
They
it.
couldn't do it,
Just
but like
wasn't
the
gonna
really
fly.
nice, polite-looking star destroyers that are just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we have brightly colored bricks in here. It's
Yeah.
fine." I was like,
A
"Oh, those are
primarily
good
colored
ones."
Star Destroyer, absolutely. They should just make it pink, like
Yeah,
pink or purple.
why not?
Very pastel, which
It's
I
very
would love.
polite, very demure, very mindful. Yes, I went
all
there.
all of those things. All of
Yeah,
those things. Um, so that's Rebuild the Galaxy. As you could
yeah.
tell, we loved it.
A plus.
A plus, 10 of 10, has a ton of rewatchability, potential.
Perfect if you
Um,
have little kids.
Perfect if you have little kids. Like honestly, my 3-year-old was obsessed. So if my 3-year-old can hold on to it and really grasp it, it's perfect for little kids.
And I'm telling you guys,
Um,
even you adults will be laughing out loud at
yeah.
several moments in these 4 little 22-minute episodes.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it already, it's on Disney Plus. You have no excuse. Go watch it. It's great. And it'll be a nice little reset for you. You deserve it. With that, we are coming. It is after 10, so we need to start
Yeah,
wrapping it up. Announcement wise, we kind of hit on some of the in-person events that are coming up. This weekend is ICCC.
I
Uh,
see.
the crew is there. They have a booth. Go say hi. There are meetups happening. LA Comic Con is happening this weekend. There are meetups happening, so check the Facebook group. And then as we approach New York Comic Con and Rhode Island Comic Con, you can plan, of course, on more meetups happening for those events.
Yeah, definitely come say hi to us there. Meetups, especially at Rhode Island, are always huge. We'd love to see you guys.
Oh my god, another text I got. Friendly Wampas. They could have done Wampas. Sorry,
And
again.
they mentioned Hoth. They said
They
that
did.
Hoth was a cold planet, but we
Listen,
know
I want to.
everything's
I want to hug
opposite.
one. I just want to hug one. I just want to hug it. That's all. I just want to hug one.
Just saying. Just saying.
Anyway, sorry.
Murder bears.
That's what I get for looking down. I was like, that's a great idea. So
So
in-person meetups happening. What's happening this week on the network, Ashley?
all right. So to get out of rewatching the Clone Wars movie on our show, the guys will be watching the Clone Wars movie, the one that started it all, tomorrow night on the Virtual Cantina Watch Along. And make sure you join them. Make sure you watch the joy that is the Stinky Punky Muffin. We love him.
Oh yeah.
And it's a good it's a movie that should have been 2 episodes,
I
but it's
agree
still good.
wholeheartedly.
It's an hour. It'll be fun. Join the guys.
I
Get
agree wholeheartedly.
jump into that world and get that started. We have the Jedi Archives on Sunday. they're going over the next issue of High Republic Adventures in the comics. So make sure you join them and check that out. Mike, Bryce, and John will be there for that. And then Monday's huge, you guys.
Monday.
The premiere. As we know, this past Monday was the series finale of Star Wars Rebels Revisited after 2.5 years. So Monday kicks off the premiere of the Clone Wars Revisited. So make sure you join me, Mark, and Skip on Monday. We'll be there. We'll be jumping right into season 1, episode 1 of the Clone Wars, and going in blind. Not really blind, because we've seen it at least
You've
once
seen the
before.
Clone Wars. Yeah, you've seen the Clone
Once
Wars.
before, all the way through.
Really?
So yes, I started during COVID.
Wow.
That's
Oh,
why.
wow.
Yeah, so it's
I had no
kind
idea.
of fresh, but not.
Okay.
I started with Rebels, so
All right.
hence my love. But yeah, so we're gonna go in and we're gonna watch every single episode of the Clone Wars.
It's a lot
all
of
of us-
episodes.
It's a lot of episodes. We're not
A
doing
lot
it
of episodes.
in chronological order. We're doing it in production order because we don't want to drive us insane. We don't want to have like a 7 million page Google Doc to go off till we're
Yeah.
90.
Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
Mark. So that will be on Monday, and we will see you guys back here then.
Yeah. So we'll be back in 2 weeks as we start to approach. We're in the Burr seasons, which I can't believe people are already putting up Christmas decorations and things, Christmas stuff to sell. Spooky season comes first, for sure. So we're gonna do our best to come up with a spooky episode for the end of the month. Last year we talked about Dathomir. I think we talked about Witches of Dathomir for the spooky season. So that was fun. We'll come up with something else spooky, but also I know one of the things that was really popular for us last year was the shopping guide. So we are already working on that for 2024, and we will start to highlight some small businesses and some small shops, give them a nod, give them a love, and we want to try to do that early because with any small shop, with the holidays approaching, we want to give them lots of lead time and lots of production time to get your presents and gifts and everything off to you. So that is in the works as well. And yeah, you'll just have to kind of vibe with us while we figure out what we're going to do. Something spooky. I don't know, something spooky. Do terrifying tales, maybe. More Lego content.
Oh, yeah. That sounds fun.
It's fun.
And we can also discuss like Tales from Vader's Castle, which is
yeah,
unhinged comic series, which is so dark.
Look at that. It is dark. That's a
my
Charles Soule comic, isn't it?
Yes, and my friend Charles did a few covers for it in a delightfully unhinged way. Yeah.
Star Weirds for spooky.
Yes, Star Weirds for spooky season. Yeah, my friend Charles. Ow! Sorry, my earring is like caught in my headphones. Charles Wilson III did some of the art in the cover, and it is delightfully spooky. He's done the chapter art for Joe Hill's book Nosferatu and the subsequent comic Wraith, delving into like Stephen King's Son's madness, and it's so great. So make sure you check that out. But we'll figure something out.
Yes,
Star Wars is
do.
a big universe, and there's got to be some dark stuff. So
we always do. All right, friends, thanks for vibing with us for tonight. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for laughing at all the stupidity with us. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We will see you then. We'll talk to you on Instagram then. It'll be good stuff. Stay safe, make good choices, drink your water, and we'll see you then. So thanks for hanging out with us, y'all.
May the Force be
May the Force be with you, and for light and life. Am I allowed to even say that anymore? I think Spencer said I couldn't say that.
Of course you are.
I'm going to say it anyway.
Say it.